Hey, what's up with Connects out there in high vibes? Alright, in today's video, I just want to talk about, understanding your mind and why it's important to decode your own mind and understand your mind to a higher perspective, basically. So, basically, why it's important to start to understand your mind and how it's going to benefit you in a lot of certain scenarios, defending yourself against certain agents, different types of things that might happen that are mind related, because, we have the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is dealing with part of your mind that you're not aware of, but like once you can become aware of your subconscious mind, it actually becomes a part of your mind, basically, and then you can tap into it and basically, start to access these different parts of your brain and like certain information and like certain precognitive abilities, basically, that allows you to stop certain things from happening, or even getting, or even when I say about putting one of my videos about talking spirit, mind, body, when you put your spirit first, basically what's going to happen is spirit's going to allow you to access more of your mind, basically, because your spirit is this amazing, it's miraculous. I'm just going to say that, but basically you need to start understanding your mind and meditating, so that way you can get into your mind first, because you want to be able to tame the ego, because your ego still is in your mind. It deals with the illusion of this reality, and I'll talk about how it's beneficial also to get into your mind. But you want to first put your spirit first, of course. The mind will always come second, then the body. Spirit, mind, body, the one true Trinity. So basically, what happens is when you start to learn more about your mind and you tap into more of your subconscious mind, basically what you're able to do is basically, because you think of these agents, right? What do they deal with? They deal with the mind and the body. They're not flowing with spirit. So basically, when you can get into your mind and tap into it and fully utilize it further than what they can, don't get me wrong, there's some agents that know how to use their minds, but let's be honest, we got some dumbass people out here. I'm gonna be honest. There's just some people out that like you wouldn't believe that they'll baffle you with some stupidity. But we gotta have balance. We gotta understand that we were all out there at some point. We all have done stupid shit at some point in our life. So we all have to go through. Everyone goes through their own experiences. But anyways, uh, what happens is when you get into your mind, basically, and you can start to access it and use it to your highest potential. Basically, you when you get certain precognitive abilities, you can actually start to know their tactics, basically. When they're gonna preempt an attack, basically, because when spirit's flowing through you, basically, and you have that connection with spirit will actually give you the ability to basically know when things are gonna happen before they happen. But it's not always a certain thing, because things can always change. Nothing's ever for sure. But there's a very, if it's happening in that moment, you get this certain idea, and then it happens. You can tap into this energy as well. It deals with the mental mind. There's certain things that the mind has that you can tap into, that there's a wide range and variety of information that you can access through the mind, basically, and get this certain information. You can, because there's information is flowing. Everything is energy. So if you can tune your frequency in your mind to a certain level, you can pick up on certain things. And if you know how to basically protect yourself and basically get into your mind, but at the same time sense out these agents, you can actually know when certain things are going to happen. You can sense out their hand moochers, basically, because it's all energy, and it's the intention behind the energies that they're sending. You can sense when people are sending you negative energy. Then you can go ahead and insert your own codes and be like, yeah, thanks for the free energy. Like, I don't care if you send me negative energy. I'll take that for myself, and I'll use it in a positive manner, and I'll send it back out, and it'll be even more high in vibes than it was before. So, but anyways, you want to keep meditating so you can access your mind, basically, because it's going to help you basically be able to communicate with certain things, and certain energies that are around. Eventually you can get all sorts of things. But the most important part, and this is gonna be probably a short video, is just getting into your mind so you can access that ability to be able to stop certain things from happening. Be able to speak intelligently and actually use your words in a certain manner to protect yourself, or basically uh, sense out certain things. You're like, I don't want to tell you everything, because I want you people out there that are watching this video to experience it, so that way you can understand what it's like to experience these things, and you're like, oh, now I have the first-hand experience. And Brother Austin just made a video about how important it is, get your first-hand experience, so that way you can turn up, basically, and really get into that vibration where you're getting momentum and you're building that foundation where you can actually start to enhance yourself. Basically, you become an enhancer of your life. You become, oh man, just so many great things that are possible for you if you just put in the work for spirit, because spirit is miraculous and spirit takes care of those who take care of it. And it's just so amazing because like my own personal experiences, like my all sorts of different things that like basically like I can sense people's energies really simply and easily because. But that's dealing with the ESP, the extrasensory perception. There's different things, but it's all energy, and like you having your mind to be able to access that's going to help that because there's certain things that are fundamental basically for your mind, so that way you can actually protect yourself. Because if you're not using your mind, you're not being actually intelligent or like knowing how to like stop certain things from happening or like tap in and like be able to access certain information. It's kind of pointless to even have a mind because your mind actually functions your body. It's like your mind is already processing things for you without you knowing that you actually having to do it yourself, because that's how powerful your mind is. So you should understand that getting into your mind is important because these agents out here, they know that the mind is very powerful because that's why they manipulate people's minds. That's why they try to program people's subconscious minds and people's mental minds, because if they can influence your mind, because it's a very useful tool for you to have to be able to utilize as a spiritual person, so that way you can protect yourself and help others and help them raise up in their highest stages of consciousness basically, because the mind deals with illusions. So if these agents are controlling your mind and your subconscious mind, they are dealing with your mind and actually controlling the way you can view, the way you can access certain information. They're stopping you from you actually taking back the power within your own mind basically to actually protect yourself against certain things, where they can send certain information and codes and run scripts on you basically to actually start manipulating your mind, so that way you become unconscious of certain things, or they start doing their own scripts of negative programming to get you back into a lower state. They don't. You got to be able to access your mind and protect your your PTU. Your body is important. Would you want someone stealing your car and driving off with it? Or like basically fucking putting, like I said in one of my videos, putting ketchup in your gas tank? So why would you want someone to be able to control your mind basically and use it for their own, basically their own desires? There's so many things, that these agents will do to get you to like basically do things that you truly in your spirit you don't want to do. The mind and the ego, when the ego is still in control basically, the ego and the mind will think about certain things. Oh, I want to just go have sex with women. I just want to go buy a bunch of cars. I just want to go buy all these things. But when you get back in tune and you put your trinity in the real true spiritual motion, spirit, mind, body, you'll start to see and use your mind to a higher perspective, and you're like, oh, from a mindful perspective, I have certain choices in my life. It's like I don't need all these things because the ego wants that. Your spirit doesn't really need all these things because spirit understands that it doesn't really need it. But like it's okay to have things. It's okay to have some crystal jewelry, and it's nice to have clothes. It's nice to be able to take care of yourself. It's nice to have a nice body and be intelligent. But you want to put your spirit first, because that's what's going to make all the difference in you actually utilizing your brain to its fullest potential. And that's when you truly get to some points where you start to access certain points in your body where you do feel like you become limitless, because you're able to you basically have your own homing radar, and you can sense out pretty much almost everybody. And there's some agents that like to try to sense, basically hide their energy signature, but it's all energy. You can sense it regardless. There's some that will try to like hide. Those if there's people that are trying to hide their energy signature and you're still being conscious aware, those are the ones you want to watch out for as well, because you got to understand, once you can utilize your mind and you can actually start to see their own tactics basically, because when the agents are dealing with their mind and they're trying to manipulate your mind basically, in your mind, and you're using your mind to a higher potential basically, you understand their concepts in their mind basically. You understand their programs and their deceptions and their lines, because you're seeing with the spiritual eye. See, when the snake is wrapped up your spine and it's penetrating, it's giving you the illusion. It's basically controlling the way your mind is. See, when you get back into spirit gives you that access to your mind, because your mind is actually supposed to be used in a spiritual manner where it's actually able to decode. These agents are deceiving and like trying to control and manipulate your mind, so that way you can't see through things. They've got everyone flipped upside down in a mirror hex. They got everyone seeing everything upside down. So you want to make sure that you're actually able to see things with your spiritual eye and using your mind with spirit, because if you're not, the agents will try to control that and stop you from basically accessing certain abilities. And then you'll start to learn actually all of their tactics, because they're dealing with their mind, right? So if you can access your mind from a higher perspective and use it through spirit and utilize that, you're going to start to be able to basically decode what they're doing, because like I said in one of my videos, you're naturally supposed to decode, right? So once you can access more of your brain and you're actually not, say this is a small minuscule of your brain, right? And this is like your, hold on, let's see if I can get it. This is your mind. Say if you're someone who's a low vibration, and this is your mind, right? And this is your subconscious mind, and it's this much. So basically, when you start to, waking up, well, what you're really supposed to do in your spirit's going to be like, all right, so this is your mind, and then you start to ask your subconscious mind by meditating, all right, this subconscious mind is going to shrink, but at the same time, your mind and all your processing information that you're basically gaining is going to be more at a wider view, because you're actually being conscious of the information. You're actually being aware. Same thing with your dream state. See, the agents like to get in your dreams because that's also dealing with, a part of your mind, because it's still dealing with the mental. That's why they still can, basically access it to that point. That's why you want to get your shields up and basically basically access, your subconscious mind, so that way you can actually do certain programs and, do certain things to protect yourself in your dream realm, because that's still dealing with your mind, and that's how they also get programs in your subconscious. See, when you're dreaming and you're not aware of your dreams, they can actually go into your dreams. So they found ways to hack into your dream basically, and actually start to download certain viruses, programs, and scripts to basically become fearful. They were trying to download some fear programs on me not too long ago. They were trying to get me fearful of certain things. And and then if you start to be more aware and you start to see, like, say if you have a fear, right, and you're not accessing your subconscious mind, or you're utilizing your mind to its fullest potential, right, there may be a fear that they actually inserted because they see you trying to rise up as a spiritual person. And actually what they'll do is they'll try to get you to become unconscious. They'll try to get you to, like, basically release your energy sometimes in your dreams, sex agents, those type of things. They'll try to access information that you have, weren't conscious, or being, like, really observant of the information that you were basically taking in. And basically they'll try to insert that program, that virus, it's just like your body and your mind is just like a computer, right? If you insert a virus and it has its original download programs and things that are naturally running on it, it's going to interrupt certain things and stop you from going there. So what are they going to do, right? They're going to try to insert a virus to stop your program. These agents are just viruses in the system, and, like, you could say, we're the antivirus, you got to think of some of these, these spirit works in mysterious ways, right? So, there's viruses and there's antivirus. You could consider the people like us at RTM the antivirus of the Matrix. Basically coming in here to get rid of the viruses that are, not actually supposed to be running. Because if there's a mainframe that's filled with viruses, and there's a person that's, spirit's above all that, and spirit's like, hey, this shit isn't supposed to be happening the way this is going, but, like, things are way too out of balance. So we gotta send the antivirus here to get basically this stuff out of here. So you want to make sure that you're also cleansing your P2, and I highly recommend getting the Beginner Spiritual Warrior Workshop, because you're gonna get a bunch of stuff in there. You're gonna get ways to cleanse yourself, basically protect yourself. Also join reprogramthematrix.com. So that way you can actually get certain information that's going to help you. And it's also, Astral Soulson just made it, where to the point where if you are a full member, you also get part of the RTM coding. So that's going to be very beneficial to help you, get certain access to certain codes, basically. So that way you can start to reprogram yourself and actually take back the power within you, because these agents, all these, even with the codes, when they're doing certain hand moves and they're throwing it up and stuff, that's dealing with the mental stuff, because it's dealing with, it's dealing with certain things. So you want to make sure you can take back that power within yourself, so that way you can protect yourself to your, highest potential. You don't want to have people control you. I said in one of my videos not too long ago that you don't want to be the observed. You want to, because if you're not being the observed, if you're not being the player, you're being the played. So, make sure you're being the player that you need to be, and use your mind to its fullest capability and really tap into it. So that way you can stop these certain dream hackers, mind manipulators, or certain people that try to insert memories that aren't really true and get you to think certain things that aren't really your own thoughts. These are viruses that are trying to basically implement into your life to basically stop you from really achieving higher stages of consciousness, because, what is a virus's job, right? The virus is, if you look up the term of even a virus, what is the true purpose of a virus? If there's a living organism, and basically if that organism's healthy and it's nice and functioning the way it's supposed to, and a virus tries to enter it, what does that virus do? It tries to disrupt the natural process in the program, or this energy that's within you, or a computer, or anything. You can see the balance with it. That's why there's yin and yang to everything. There's duality. And once you can start to see that and put the pieces together, you see how they basically are programming people subconsciously through all sorts of, all the things that they create. It's all basically, it's a metaphor that came from basically spirit, because it has to, basically, where does everything come from? Basically, it comes from spirit. And what do? They took it and they flipped it upside down. So once you can understand that and really tap into your mind and start to see things, where they get all these ideas from, you'll be like, oh my gosh, at first you'll be like, I really didn't understand this, but then once you start to put in the work, you're gonna be like, now I really truly understand what he was talking about. Or if you go to Astro Solstice channel or the Reprogram the Matrix channel, you'll even see what Astro's talking about. And if you start to put in the work, you'll start to get the information, the downloads, and it's never ending. These messages are just basically multi-dimensional messages. They're, when it comes from a spiritual person, but if it's coming from an ego point, it's just a straight up lie. It's just a bunch of pile of shit that they're just trying to feed you, and that's just the way it is. And you want to become the best true person you can, because honesty prevails all other falseness. Honesty is what makes this world a better place. Falseness does not. So when you're being honest, it's that truthness that makes this world better. Which I just made a video about being sort of like towards the end. I talked about being honest. Because honesty is the truth prevails all over else. If someone's trying to get you into a lie and you can utilize your mind and speak truth, what's going to happen is that person's going to get, that person that's trying to drain you and try to get you mind fucked, basically, you're basically just going to sit there and speak truth and stand firmly in your grounding and basically be able to speak the truth the way you need to and put out that energy. Because when you're living a lie, it's a deception energy. It's an energy that's trying to confuse you and get you down the rabbit hole. But when you can speak in truth and you come from spirit with it, it's going to be very much more powerful than the deception, because truth is real. Spirit is real. It's the one thing that prevails all over else. Spirit is the one true source of everything in this reality. And when you can speak from that truth, you'll feel it. You'll resonate with it. That's why when a lot of people, when you watch Astro Solstice channel, you resonate with that truth, because it's honesty. He doesn't need to speak bullshit. He just tells it the way it is, and that's what I love about him as well. And my gratitude for all his videos that he puts out, because they're so high in vibration. I really appreciate all the hard work he puts in to help all us and give us that information so we all can rise as well. And now we're also making videos so that you all can rise, because it's all different types of perspectives that we can help raise with each other to rise it up as a spiritual family, and also as a community, and help this world rise and make it a better place. But that's all I want to say in this video. Now make sure to use your mind, keep turning up, and you really utilize your mind to this fullest potential, because this is how the agents get into your mind. They're able to run scripts, or you need to become conscious and utilize your mind to its fullest potential, so that way you can rise and be who you're truly destined to be. But that's all I want to say. Peace out with my highest vibrations, my full love to all those watching, and my gratitude, and stay turned up.